What if someone could see the life you lived before this one, without you saying a single word? Imagine for a moment that every joy, sorrow, and secret from your soul's long journey could be silently known by another. What would it feel like to stand before someone whose gaze could pierce the veils of memory, reaching beyond the boundaries of this lifetime? Today, we unravel the story of such a person, a mysterious silent nun hidden away in a remote monastery, whose rare and mystical gift allowed her to perceive the past lives of those who came before her. This is a tale so astonishing, so quietly powerful, that even the most hardened skeptics find themselves at a loss to explain it. Our story begins far from the bustling cities and noisy roads, in a secluded monastery nestled deep within the green embrace of misty mountains. The journey to reach this temple is not an easy one. Winding paths snake through dense forests, ancient trees arching overhead, their leaves whispering secrets as the wind passes through. Pilgrims and villagers alike make their way up the rocky slopes, driven by a quiet hope or a desperate need for solace. The air here is thick with the scent of pine and incense, and the only sounds are the distant calls of birds and the gentle ringing of temple bells. Within these hallowed walls lives a nun unlike any other. She is a figure shrouded in mystery, not because of any deliberate secrecy, but because of her deep and unwavering silence. No one recalls ever hearing her speak, not even in greeting. Yet her presence is unmistakable. She moves through the monastery with a grace that seems otherworldly, her eyes calm and luminous, as if reflecting a light from within. Those who meet her gaze often describe a sensation of being truly seen, as though the nun could perceive not just their outward appearance, but the very essence of their being. Despite her silence, she is beloved by all who live and visit there. The monks and devotees sense something extraordinary in her presence, a stillness that soothes the restless heart, a kindness that needs no words. Villagers who come to pray or seek blessings find themselves lingering in her quiet company, drawn to her as moths to a gentle flame. It is not long before stories begin to circulate, whispered among the faithful and the curious alike. They speak of strange and wondrous encounters with the silent nun, moments that defy explanation, leaving those who experience them forever changed. One such story tells of a grieving mother who arrived at the temple, her heart heavy with sorrow after the loss of her young child. She had heard rumors of the silent nun's gifts, though she did not believe them. Desperate for comfort, she entered the offering hall, where the nun sat in meditation. Without a word, the nun rose and walked to the mother, placing a small, well-worn toy in her hands. A toy that had once belonged to her lost child, though she had never brought it to the temple. The mother's tears flowed freely, but in that moment, she felt an overwhelming sense of connection. A realization that her bond with her child transcended the boundaries of this life. It was as if the nun had gently revealed the karmic threads binding them together, offering solace not through speech, but through a silent act of knowing. Another tale involves a wealthy man, known throughout the region for his arrogance and disregard for those less fortunate. He visited the monastery out of curiosity, perhaps seeking to add a touch of spiritual prestige to his name. When he encountered the nun, she looked deeply into his eyes, and in that gaze, he saw visions. Fleeting images of himself in another era, dressed in fine robes, ruling over others with a cruel hand. The memories were vivid and unsettling. He left the temple shaken, unable to forget what he had seen. In the weeks and months that followed, his demeanor changed. He began to treat others with kindness, offering charity where before he had shown only contempt. Those who knew him marveled at the transformation, never knowing the true cause, a silent vision gifted by the nun whose eyes saw beyond this life. There was also the story of a skeptical traveler, a man who prided himself on his rational mind and sharp tongue. He came to the monastery intent on exposing the so-called miracles as mere superstition. Yet when he met the nun, something unexpected happened. She neither welcomed nor dismissed him, offering only her silent presence. As he gazed into her eyes, he was overcome by a sudden, overwhelming loneliness. A vision of himself wandering across endless landscapes, searching for something he could not name. The experience left him humbled, And though he never spoke of it to others, he returned home with a newfound gentleness, his skepticism softened by a mystery he could not explain. How did the silent nun come to possess such an extraordinary gift? Some of the monks believe it was the result of lifetimes spent in deep meditation and compassion. They say that through countless acts of kindness and selfless service, she awakened an inner vision that pierced the illusions of time and self. Others whisper that her insight arose from a profound realization of interconnectedness, that in seeing the truth of no self, she could perceive the karmic bonds linking all beings across lifetimes. Yet, for all the speculation, the nun herself remains a mystery. She continues to live simply, rising before dawn to meditate, tending the temple gardens, and helping those in need. Her silence is not a barrier, but a bridge, a way of communicating that transcends language and touches the heart directly. Those who visit her leave transformed, carrying with them a sense of peace and a deeper understanding of the invisible threads that weave together all lives. The impact of the silent nun's gift ripples outward, touching not only those who meet her, but all who hear her story. In a world so often dominated by noise and distraction, her example reminds us of the power of presence, the wisdom that can be found in stillness, and the deep compassion that arises when we truly see one another, not just as we are in this moment, but as souls journeying together through the tapestry of existence. What then is the lesson to be drawn from this remarkable story? Perhaps it is this: true wisdom requires no words. When compassion and insight grow deep, the soul perceives what the eyes alone cannot. The silent nun's gift was not merely the ability to see past lives, but to recognize the essential humanity in every person. The joys and sorrows, the hopes and regrets, the longing for connection that unites us all. In her presence, people found not only answers, but healing. A gentle reminder that we are all more than the sum of our present circumstances, shaped by countless experiences across the ages. As you reflect on this story, consider this. If you could glimpse your own past lives, what do you think you would learn about yourself? Would you discover old wounds that still need healing, or forgotten strengths waiting to be reclaimed? Would you find that your present challenges are echoes of lessons left unfinished, or that your deepest relationships have roots stretching far into the past? The silent nun's example invites us to look inward with compassion, to honor the mysteries of our own journey, and to approach others with the same gentle understanding. If this story touched you, if it sparked a sense of wonder or a longing to know more, take a moment to share your thoughts. What do you believe about the possibility of past lives? Have you ever experienced a moment of deep knowing or connection that seemed to transcend the ordinary? Your reflections are welcome here as we continue to explore the mysteries of karma, compassion, and the unseen threads that bind us all. Remember, sometimes the most profound truths are spoken not in words, but in silence. And sometimes, the greatest gifts are given not through explanation, but through the quiet power of understanding. If you wish to hear more stories like this, tales that challenge the boundaries of what we know and invite us to see the world with new eyes, please like, leave a comment, and subscribe. The journey is just beginning, and together, we will continue to seek out the wisdom hidden in the spaces between words, in the silence that speaks to the soul.